All right, what is up, y'all? So we are here with meal plan number 7, and this is mustard burgers and tocino pollo, also known as bacon wrapped chicken. Keep in mind, we make and use every single one of these recipes that we put out. We just had the mustard burgers a couple of nights ago, still eating the leftovers off of it. The tocino pollo we haven't made in a while, so we'll probably make that this week. But remember, we simplified this meal plan because most of us are moving towards 2 meals a day. Most of us don't eat breakfast, or we do something super simple like the approved shake. Sometimes we'll do some bone stock, or sometimes we'll just make our breakfast and take it with us because we're trying to extend that space in the morning. If you need an additional meal for a breakfast meal, you're welcome to do something super simple that resonates with you. Also, to keep things extremely simple, we have the same lunch that we're recommending every day or most days. We only have 2 dinners for the week because we're using the leftovers method. So we're really having 4 nights of dinner with 2 different recipes. We're trying to use the same plants and the same starches and the same desserts to keep it all simple. The flexibility comes week after week after week, right? And I know that a lot of us just use these meal plans to get some good ideas. But if you have any feedback on how to make it better, please just let me know. So let's go ahead and look at this meal plan because it's freaking awesome. So again, optional breakfast, quote unquote breakfast, is going to be the approved protein shake with 2 scoops of whey, 1 scoop of collagen, and some healthy traditional fat like some coconut milk and or some heavy cream. If you want some carbs with that, you can do a little bit of berries. A lot of us do some bone stock and collagen in the mornings. I love to put in a little bit of tallow and some bone marrow. And then some of us just fast in the morning with some coffee, tea, cream, coconut oil, MCT oil, coconut milk, or something along those lines. All right, so the lunch for this week is really awesome. It's burger or sausage stacks. All right, so basically you're just, well, let's just go look at it. You're basically taking a pre-made burger and or a flat piece of sausage, and you're putting on top of that some mashed avocado, or you could pre-make some guacamole or buy some guacamole. And then we're putting an egg on top of that. And the egg is cooked in a skillet with a lid of a mason jar. It's a really easy technique. You heat up the skillet, put some approved traditional fat in there. You put the lid of the mason jar in there, and then you crack an egg in it, and it fits into that mold. And then you can take the lid off, and then you can have that little disc that you can put on top of this whole thing. And then we like to season it with a little bit of hot sauce afterwards. The Monday Monday and Tuesday meal, or depending on when you start your week, your meal number 1 is going to be our mustard burgers, which is inspired by our In-N-Out burgers, which we absolutely love. We'll stop by there every now and then and get some, by the way. So we're just basically making, if we go back to that recipe here, we're basically making some burgers, and in that burger mix, we're using some mustard to give it a mustard flavor. And then as it's cooking, we're also putting a little bit of mustard on top of it. And then you're stacking these patties on the trimmings of your choice. And we have a specific order in here that we recommend, but you're welcome to mix it up if you want. As we take the burgers out, we put them on the trimmings. We put a piece of cheese on top. If you're trying to do it like In-N-Out, then we'd be doing the American cheese. And then for sides, we're doing pan-fried potatoes. The best potatoes for these things are gonna be small little baby potatoes, or Yukon potatoes, are like really buttery. You're gonna peel those, cut them into very thin discs, and you're basically gonna cook that in a skillet. Fry them on each side so get nice and brown, maybe like 4 to 5 minutes, and make sure that they're soft inside, and of course you're seasoning them. And these things are freaking amazing. And our preferred dessert is honey yogurt with chocolate chips. This is one of my favorite things in the world. I get a full-fat A2 yogurt, but you can do just a plain yogurt, plain Greek yogurt. I pour it into a mixing bowl, and I squirt a bunch of honey in it, and I mix it up, and that's it. I could just eat that for dessert every night. But when I go to serve myself, sometimes I'll put it in a bowl or mug, and I'll sprinkle some Lily's chocolate chips on top of it. So that is our dessert. Now, if we come to the second meal, which for most of us is going to be Wednesday, Thursday, or just meal number 2, tocino pollo, which is the bacon wrapped chicken thighs. These things are freaking amazing. They are a staple. Basically what you're doing is you're taking some chicken thighs, boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and those end up laying kind of flat. So you lay them flat with the kind of tough side or skin side down, even though they don't have skin on it, what used to be skin. And then as it's laid flat, you're just gonna season it with whatever you want. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, chili powder. You can put some cream cheese in there. The possibilities are basically endless. And then you're gonna roll that up nice and tight. You're gonna have 2 strips of bacon laying there, and then you're gonna roll that tight roll of chicken up in those 2 strips of bacon, and then you're gonna bake those. And I'm telling you, when you cut through, each piece has a bite of bacon in it. It's got the chicken, it's got the seasoning in it. It is freaking amazing. Now for that evening's dinner, for some plants, we're gonna do a handful of greens with some cheese and dressing. And what we recommend here is grabbing some dehydrated or dried cranberries. And basically you're just taking a bowl or a plate, you're putting a handful of greens in there with your choice of crumbled cheese, and then a little bit of those cranberries and some approved dressing, and it doesn't have to be more complicated than that. That tastes amazing. That's chef quality. You could pay probably 25 bucks for that in a freaking restaurant. And then we're doing the same starch that evening. We're gonna do some more pan-fried potatoes or leftover pan-fried potatoes, and the same dessert, which is the honey yogurt with chocolate chips. Again, Fridays are always gonna be like a leftover smorgasbord, or it could be a night that you order out, like some approved pizza. Weekends are flex days. You can gravitate towards the things that you enjoy and like. And then the nose to tail challenge for this week, if you haven't done it already, is gonna be to make some bone stock. We have a great recipe inside the group. I also put the recipe into this PDF, and with every batch of bones, you can make 3 batches of bone stock. So depending on how big your vessel is, usually when we make it, we get like at least 12 quarts, usually maybe like 18 quarts of stock, and that will last you for a while. And basically you're just getting some good bones, covering them with water. I take 1 onion and I divide that up into thirds, and I use a third of an onion every time I make a batch of stock, because I'm making 3 batches with those same bones. I also use 2 carrots with every batch, and when I strain the stock, I just refill it, add another third of an onion, another 2 carrots, and I do that for a total of 3 times, and I get a bunch of stock out of it. That's how I drink my cup of stock every single day, okay? Now, we also, as always, have our meal prep tips here, other reminders. Hope you guys enjoy this. If you have any feedback, comments, questions, even snide remarks, you can send it our way. You guys keep it real.